How we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. I've got an album review for you. I've been sitting on this one for a little while, just not got round to reviewing it. So here we go. This is the new album from Sadus. I think we've all been looking forward to this one. This album's called The Shadow Inside. Let's have a look at the artwork there. Just looks classic straight away, doesn't it? This is the first album the band have done since 2007, I believe. They've had an initial run in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and then a bit like Armoured Saint, really. They just sort of they do stuff when they can. I think life's got in the way for a lot of them, so they've never really split up as such. But there have been periods of inactivity, but they've all been involved in different projects, and yeah, just like most bands of their age. Obituary went through it a little bit as well. It was just we haven't split up. We're just not doing anything at the moment, but we'll when we can, sort of things. But yeah, 2006, Out for Blood was the last album, and this one they've recorded as a two-piece. It's both original members, Darren Thomas, and on drums we've got John Allen. So the big question is, where's Steve? Steve DiGiorgio. I think I pronounced that right. I can never. Well, it's the first time I think I've said it out loud. But yeah, of course, Death, Testament, the list goes on. He's in a bunch of different projects, and I think that's sort of been a bit of a hindrance on the band over the years, but especially in the beginning. But the band's output has certainly never suffered. It's certainly a case of quality over quantity. The first three albums are pretty much a trilogy, classic trilogy. I think most people would say you can't go wrong with either of these albums, but that's the one to start with. Swallowed in Black. I think Elements of Anger is actually quite an underrated album, actually, where especially in the period it was released in. I think it was 1997. And like a lot of, well, sort of where a lot of thrash bands sort of went embraced like groove and stuff like that, or even tried going more commercial. Other bands like Testament, for example, sort of embraced the underground and kind of merged into that. And I think Sadus did that on Elements of Anger. But although they did experiment, there was a lot more melodic in places, but it was also more dark for it. A track like Safety in Numbers, for example, is just phenomenal. And then 2007, it was just a case of, yeah, it's solid but unremarkable. But Sadus on a bad day is still better than most, you know. And yeah, a solid 5 albums. There is a live album as well, live in Chile, and which I ordered a couple of years ago, and it never turned up. I reported it to PayPal, tried to get a refund, nothing came of it. So yeah, fuck everyone involved in that case. But anyway, here we are, 2023, and yeah, got a new album, and they are just a two-piece. But it's all good. This is actually really good album. First couple of listens, I was a bit, it's all right. It's that Sadus being Sadus, but no, this album. I've seen a few reviews as well, and this is a bug I've got to bear with a lot of, especially now everything's on YouTube. It's like people are racing to get the first review out rather than necessarily the best review, and I fall into that trap sometimes. I have sometimes rushed the views out, trying to ride that algorithm wave, and it never works. So I just take my time there and get it when it's nailed. And I've been listening to this a couple of times today, and this album rewards repeated listens, and it's as thrash, it's as shredding and thrashing and punishing and pummeling and scorching as you like. It's what you want from a Sadus album, but it's just little details here and there, just little bits that are just there in plain sight, but they come more to the forefront the more you listen to it. So opening track, First Blood, has got this sort of brooding melodic intro. This is the thing, there's melodies in here, but they're all just subtly in the background. It's not like up front. apart from some solos, there's some blistering solos on this. The drums by John Allen as well. John is on fire on this, mind you. He's never not been. But yeah, it sort of builds up to a build up, dun, 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 you know, like it does, and then kind of in the same sort of, I think Ides of March or something like that by Iron Maiden, you know. But then it just, that big build up, and then bang, just kicks in. It's just awesome. The one that's really the one I'm going back to though is Scorched and Burnt, the second track. That's going to be awesome live. So you've got this like balls to the wall, million miles an hour opening track. Well, this one has this little intro and then just kicks into this groovy, sludgy, awesome. You could see this one just like fucking going for it live, and you could really see it making the crowd move. It's sort of slightly, you know, it wouldn't be out of place on an Obituary album, especially the later couple, like, because Obituary have really mastered groove now on those last run of albums, and Obituary have been on a winning streak lately. But it does get faster towards the end. But yeah, Scorched and Burnt is a track to listen to. Ride the Knife sort of stops and starts into like a doomy, like stops and goes into like this doomy sort of slow section, but it's topped off with a blistering solo. Pain is another highlight. Got a nice melodic solo as that. No Peace as well. I keep talking about blistering solos. I'm just trying to, but yeah, Pain. Scorched, yeah. If you're looking for what to listen to, check out Scorched and Burnt, and then check out Pain. And if you like that, pull the trigger and buy the album. But yeah, Ride the Knife is another good one as well, which I've mentioned. Like I say, there's subtle melodies all around the background. New Beginning as well. Now, when I mentioned earlier, they really sort of threw a curveball at you with Safety in Numbers. But there's elements of that in this album. And then the last track, The Shadow Inside, there's an intro track really before that. So track 9 is a little introduction, like a little instrumental track. And that's like a bit of a breather, because right up to now it's been pretty punishing for 8 songs. There's bits, there's grooves, there's hooks, there's little slower, doomier sections, but it's all just like a roller coaster. It's all just enough to get you to that point where we're just going to go bang again into it all. But yeah, New Beginnings is a nice little breather. It's really dark, atmospheric, got some like military drums on it, and then that leads into the closing track, which is again slow and atmospheric to begin with, but then just leads into this like pummeling finish, and the solo at the end is fucking amazing. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this now. At first I was a bit like, yep, ticks all the right boxes, everything's in place, Sadus has still been Sadus. But no, this is actually, the more you listen to it, more things come out to the forefront. Really good riffs, really well written songs. And there's, like, when I say the melodic side, think like the underrated side of Slayer. Like, I've got any Slayer albums here? Yeah, think, what's the one on here? Is it 213? Or is it SS? There's one that's about a serial killer. I think it's 213, where it has a really cool, I can't remember which one it is now. It's been ages since I've listened to Slayer. There's a song on here that's about a serial killer, and it's got a really slow, sort of brooding introduction. I think Dead Skin Mask. No, not Dead Skin Mask. Oh, the hell, Joe. I need to get thingy with Slayer. Slayer was a bad example, but you know those when they would do like a slow melodic song that normally about, and then ding 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 ding. I'm trying to figure that thing, but reminiscent of that, the darker side of Slayer, when they're that slower, darky, murkier side, and it's reminiscent of that, but it's really, really cool. And Darren's vocals are just really scorched earth, really like raspy and you know. And John again is awesome on the kit. If I got anything really, you know, I'd love to have heard Steve on this. I don't know why he's not. Doesn't seem like he's in the band anymore. I know he's here, there, and everywhere, but you'd think he'd been able to. I would have thought if they could have fit him in, they would have. You know, he would have made the time for it. So Darren, who's done all the guitars, has just done the bass himself in this time, and it's there. But you could just imagine Steve would have been, you know, all over the place, and I would have liked to have heard that, but wasn't to be for whatever reason. I've not read any interviews, but it's all been a bit vague of why Steve isn't on it, because he's been on every album so far. I mean, they're the main three that have been on everything. So if anyone knows why Steve's not on it, feel free to tell me in the comments. But he's not on it, and the album's still really good. So be grateful for what you got, because, you know, all the older bands, none of them have got that much long. So just appreciate what you've got when you get it, basically. So yeah, that's ever so small peeve beside. This is a really, really good album. And again, it rewards repeated listens, as I've said a couple of times now. So yeah, check it out. Sadus, this shadow inside. Go get it. And thanks for watching, as always. If this is your first viewing, I've got hundreds of videos reviewing all genres of metal. So have a scroll down and have a look and see what you think, and subscribe if you feel like it. And for the rest of you, I'll see you all soon. I've got some really cool stuff coming up, actually, and I've got 2 guests coming on, and we're going to be doing a retrospective of a very cool band that you all love and you've all heard of. You can see a sticker of them if you look close enough in the background. You can even see someone in the back there. There's a clue for you. And that's going to be really good. I've done a retrospective on them before on my own, but I'm happy for this to supersede it. So I've got that coming up. I've got part 3 of the Napalm Death retrospective with Jackie Smith coming up as well. As, of course, as well, we'll be continuing on with Rushcast. So I think this is the last. Oh yeah, no, I've still got to review Nocturnal's album as well. And at some point, I'll be doing my top 10 of the year as well. So keep posting, keep checking back, folks, and new stuff's coming very soon. Thanks a lot. Take care.